This is a 1/12 scale functional table saw from PM Research. This is the TS1 model. A couple of different views illustrating all the detail that's on this, and you can customize this to suit. I went a little overboard with some of the details, but if you know me, you know that's how it works, right? I chose to do a brass throat plate instead of the wood throat plate that's on the print. And I also chose to make a functional miter. 256 table elevation screw, which is also how they set the depth of cut. One of the interesting characteristics of the way this table is set up, this little saw is set up, you can see the belt shifter on the outside, little piece that I did last in the series, moves the belt that comes from an overhead line shaft from one pulley to another. The outer pulley is the go pulley. That's the pulley that's going to make everything go. It's going to change, drive the belt, drive the blade. And the inner pulley, you see it's engaged with the center pulley. And the inner pulley is an idler. It does nothing. It just spins. So when the operator would throw this thing into this position, the belt's going to jump over to this pulley, and it's just going to do a whole lot of nothing. The overhead line shaft does not stop, so you got to figure out a way to stop the machine without stopping the belt. And that's the use of two pulleys. And yes, there are plastic bushings in between these, as well as in between this one and the cleat. I chose to add a red knob to the belt shift lever mechanism because it's one of those, if you throw it at the wrong time, you could get hurt. So it's a warning. It's a 5-degree. And the belt shift mechanism itself, when you position it, make sure that the square is directly over the crown of the two pulleys. The main drive wheel, I chose not to put an oblique set screw in. I actually built two brass collars and I notched them to fit. The set screws are opposing for balance. There are plastic washers on every rotational face on this model. This is the main drive pulley. There's one on the right. There's one on the left. Those brass collars also help to center the wheel. Another anti-friction washer is on the idler pulley where it matches the cleat that holds everything together. And although you can't see it, there's one on the other side as well. This is under the table. This is the pivot area under the table. So any rotational surfaces, anything that could possibly pick up is bushed. And that's just the brass collar that locks everything together. This is the barrel pulley. This is the one that drives the blade. There's a washer on either end of that as well. And there's no washer between the main spindle and the body of the saw because it is a fixed distance and it will never come in contact. Oil holes are present on the top drive shaft, the spindle, and also on the bottom. I would think if you want to really get serious about this, make these little pockets a little bit deeper so they can hold some volume if you're going to be running it. This is a 256 elevator right here. That was actually single pointed. It's an 1.25 inch long 256. You're going to need a follow rest if you're going to try to pull that off, guys. I did add a red handle. It's a 5-degree per side. And I think it just gives it a little bit of value. Any detail you can add, personalize it, have at it. This area right here, there's a lot going on here, guys. If you get this model together and this isn't silky smooth, you have several options here. Actually, you have a couple of really good options. You can make that brass piece thinner, should you so desire. You can remove material from the inside of the aluminum part, or you can face off the brass part to suit, but that absolutely must be glass smooth. On each corner of this model, there is a 540 stud. 540 screws are 125 in diameter, in the U.S. anyway. And those are 5/32 collared hex nuts, shoulder nuts. The blade itself is really not conducive to cutting wood, but The brass throat plate is 125 thick, and this is what they wanted you to make the belt shift lever out of, but I decided to just add a little pizzazz and make mine a brass throat plate. Functional miter, I dedicated an entire video to this guy, and in order to keep that outside edge from blowing up, I added that brass piece, which I should have put a little bit more time into and turned it into a indicator. 172 6-lobe thumb screw to hold that fence. 172, that is 75 thousandths in diameter. The slot itself, 25. Extremely thin. You torque that knob down too tight, you're going to blow that casting up, so don't do it. Tight is fine. Functional is great. And lower everything back down. There is a positive stop under the table. So when you unloosen this 256 jack screw and the table goes all the way down, you can actually take it completely off the registration surface on the bottom of the table, and it will register solid and get the fuzz off the model. A lot of detail, a lot of fun. Well, guys, as you can see from the series itself, there are a few pieces that I did not take the time to video. If it was something that had been shown in a previous video on another model, well, I figured what's the point in duplicating the actual video coverage itself. I'm very pleased with this model. I got one left. I have the wood lathe left to do, and I will have completed the entire shop. As always, I thank you for spending some of your time with me today and tuning in for this. This is another little addition to the mini machine shop I'm very pleased with. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're well, happy, and safe, all of the above. I am Joe Pye at Advanced Innovations in Austin, Texas. I'm out.